Yeah. Quarantine days, just having fun video. Um, I wanted to just maybe talk with some guildies about what's going on right now. The big pandemic has made a lot of people stay home. So what we did, or what I'm doing anyway, was revisiting some of my older DDO characters that I had put on the back burner, so to speak. And one of them is Yeahfoo. I'm not really posting this video, at the highest level or anything, or showing its progression along the way. The history on this particular character was, let me see, I'll just open up feats. Was mostly a melee character. It started out as rogue. Um, oops, past lives. We want past lives. And I believe I did originally Three Lives of Rogue. This is the Rogue that originally, I think, maybe in 2010 or something, had done the old version of the mechanic, the old version of the acrobat, and the old version of the assassin. And then I just I modeled another rogue after that assassin build because I liked it the most, and then just kind of placed it on the back burner as a boring, you know, almost like a bank tune. I then did the monk and the barbarian when DDO had released the Epic Destiny spheres, to try and fill it out. And then I realized, well, there's no way to max out all these, the rest of the destinies until you do a caster life. I mean, it's really not going to be as efficient at the higher levels if unless you do it. So that's kind of like what the path is. But now with this big epic social distancing thing that's going on, I came back and followed through with that, and I turned it into a what am I? A Dragonborn Warlock Wizard mix. It's 14 Warlock, 6 Wizard with with the specific intent of getting up there and in the oh god, the heck is it called? In the enhancements tree to work on the wizard part of it, but then I instead of doing something that I always did with it, I actually just dumped all the points into Soul Eater and the Tainted Scholar. Um, I forgot about the Archmage over here. You know, a lot of times I like to go up here and go into this Archmage tree on the right, um, to to get that Arcane Supremacy to pop with force damage. Well, this time around, as I leveled it up, I went over to the Soul Eater tree on purpose. Like it is more about doing chaotic and alignment damage, um, spell power types instead of force. And so, if I dumped all the points in here, there was no real point in working up the tree down here for force missiles like I used to do on my older videos. Now, DDO sort of forced me into these changes or experimental builds now, and it might be something that I revisit in the future based on this sort of guinea pig now. It's like kind of fun. Um, the Tainted Scholar tree for the whatever 14 levels that I have is only to get that spell critical damage multiplier up to I think it was a 30% on the bottom here. Okay, no, again, knowing that at least if I was a fire warlock and doing alignment damage, which is based on light spell power currently, we could we could still maximize the big fire spells from the Draconic Sphere. Like a trade. I traded force damage for light damage. And I like this stuff over here. There's a lot of clickies associated with the Soul Eater tree. Stricken. These really super cheap, again, Blood Feast. It causes I picked Constitution for this. It causes Constitution damage to your opponent, and then you gain that much as an insight bonus to Constitution for your hit points and whatever else, Fortitude saves for 20 seconds after you use it. But that is a way to plow through hit points, and then if you lower Constitution damage on a mob, your SLA finger of death works better than you know. Tough on a first lifer caster to get extreme DCs or dice checks for the various saves, but still having fun with this particular tree. It's a good time. I also put 11 points over here into the breath weapon uh, attacks, but I didn't have enough with no racial past lives or really uh, finished out to get the rest of the power, the breath attacks. And what's interesting is anytime you do a Dragonborn, you get another breath attack aside from the Epic Destiny Sphere. So you get two breath attacks, that are pretty high in the damage amount. Where do I go here for this Epic Destiny tree? Opening up the Epic Destiny tree, I did make map view first. I made it through the Divine Sphere, and as a caster, I did 3 levels of the Bard just to get over to Draconic because it wasn't open. And then you could see that I had already filled out the Martial tree previously, so then I could eventually maybe someday work over to the Primal Sphere, like I've just been working through all these. Got a 5/5/5 on the Divine, and then now in this Arcane Sphere here. Uh, the only the only thing that I had or past life that I had figured out was the double strike one time on this character. Like that's how long it's been on like the back seat. It's a backseat driver. It's pretty funny. So all in on the Draconic now. Now that I finally got it figured out or whatever, finished out to level 5, and I set up the tree like this, um, in to do fire damage on the side mostly. It's been pretty tough. Like it's hard to come by, all the items that you have on your main to boost those things up. But it's the most effective at, your chances at an insta kill, just by doing extreme amount of damage with those breath weapons and the burst and the aura or whatever that they have of fire. Slotted in Flames of Purity from Divine Crusader on tier 2. Radiant Power is from the Exalted Angel for more light, 30 light spell power. Endless Faith is also from here. It's a tier 1. And I actually have 5 fate points remaining, which means I could open up another tier 1 down here that I don't even have on right now. Probably something for healing, maybe I don't know. I haven't spent that much time on it, but all just in the purpose of during quarantine days, uh go get the rest of the characters up to speed. So that's okay. Uh the In terms of the blasting or just using your hand spells as a warlock, I did move up to the Enervating Shadow, Chain, and Utter Dark Blast. Now, this uh this blast is what changes your damage type over to evil instead of force, which is a light based spell power type or radiance. Okay, and then knowing that the other moves like stricken are chaotic damage, and currently again that is based on light or radiance, any type of alignment thing. So swag gear for noobs and characters that don't have it. It's probably a good idea to head your butt off to the keep in the Borderlands, or the new chain in the 12 to probably help out your light spell power or fire or whatever. It's easy to get a weapon there. That's what is it? I'm still using it at 28 or 27. I made this as a combustion scepter to get the spell power up. It's only 111, but it's a minimum level 20 and accepts the sentience that you can start to load or start to gain experience on, at least, Yeahfoo had a lot of melee gear in the bank that could easily be fed to the sentient and gain some startup experience. The only thing I have loaded in there is a filigree for extra charisma. Um, clear out the bank on it too, if you're gonna go do that and use it to your advantage. The other thing that I did get at 21, which I had account bound, was the Coalesce Coinage Orb. And this is good for your light damage. Currently slotted previously in it was a Ruby of Combustion 90. I should try to get that swapped out for force damage for one spell for the Warlock, and that's the Evard's Black Tentacles. Now, according to that uh, previous chat that I just had about, switching over to a light damage instead of a force, it doesn't include this spell. This is a spell that relies on force damage, like Blade Barrier, for its damage type. So I'm a little weak in that force damage area right now, but I don't have the resources to go and make it better right now. And then it was like, well, what's the point if you're going to be 28 or 29 soon? You can probably find another item that you have without spending any money on a toolkit or whatever to swap in a gem. So that's where I am. Those hardships, those real first life problems with playing old characters that you dust off. Standing at 52 charisma, I believe I only have +3 tomes on this all around. Yeah, I think I have +3. There's a +4 intelligence tome. Um, +3 con. Dexterity, I have a +4 tome that I found. I think I remember the day that I found this in uh I found this tome when we ran a quest on Epic Elite back in the day in one of the quests in Vale at the end reward after I was assassinated. It was the Devils, running with the Devils end chest. And I remember it because I had never seen or never witnessed a tome drop in that quest at the heroic level like that or something. Who knows what they got going on now? It's a long time ago when that happened. And then only +3 strength. So it's middle of the road in terms of its greatness. Um, but I enjoy playing it. The spell powers are not even close to what your main will have probably. I mean, at this juncture, level 27, you're gonna take a big step up at 28 or 29 in terms of what your spell powers look like. So I've been rolling at 454 fire, and then the most important one is the light at 374. Both critical chances I've tried to max out as good as I can. Currently fire 27, light 21%. But then the spell critical multiplier is what's substantial. I get a 30 from uh, the draconic or from being a warlock, and then the other 35 is from the Dragonborn Epic Destiny. So we're already at 65. Pretty good, pretty good place to be in terms of making a relatively new character be able to do a little bit harder stuff. Probably not ready for the Uber Super Reaper 4 or 5, but if it plays smart, you can probably hang in there. AC not doing so well. 48. I still am relying on blur and displacement as some of my spells down here, and staying back or kill it before it kills you. I'm so fortunate to sometimes play with a number of real good tankers that are coming up. Uh, it's tougher. So the best armor that this character has for being a caster is the spider silk robes. Like, what are you gonna do? You gotta get through. Not really giving me a whole ton of anything good. PRR and MRR are low. You'll turn into a one-hit pony if you do not kill it first. Fortunate to have the necklace of Mystic Idiots, but it's not upgraded. Don't have black zones. Giving me a little bonus to my constitution there. And dexterity. Ghostly. You don't really have a 10% blur. It's a little bit of a help. Wearing the belt of crystalline vanity. This is from the Keep on the Borderlands quest series. It's nice for the insightful and quality charisma on it. A lot of the items in the Borderlands are geared better for newer players to go from 21 to I would say 28 is where it changes. If you just have a first life or a second or third or fourth that doesn't have the gear to make it through, it's a good idea to go check out those items and farm them, in my opinion. It's pretty powerful. Still wearing three pieces from an old and bypass set almost, the Abishai set, because it's raising the caster level of evocation spells to get up higher. And the rest is swag. Swag gear. These boots, when I got to 27, helped me run fast. Epic boots of the innocent and give me some resistance. Permanent GH, the boots of the innocent. So GH isn't in my spell repertoire either as a primary warlock. I'd like to have it. I I've always enjoyed greater heroism for skills, you know. So these are my warlock spells. Or wait, yep, all warlock spells. Level 1 is a lot of these are granted along the way. I've been experimenting with this binding chain, which is an evocation spell. It slows down people, slows down mobs. Having a problem breaking the saves though at higher difficulties. The save on is only 43. Uh, so a lot of times I've been getting, not really any caster lives, spell pin failure on it. It's been coming up. So a lot tougher game, but it's more fun, to try. Oh, the last thing that I wanted to talk about before I end the video was this build is what inspired a newer build, I guess, in a way, and it's about this. It's about the Dragonborn flyby attack abilities. Now the Dragonborn up here on the left has one. It's called Memory of Flight. Um, but this is more like a leap. It's more like an abundant step or a vault. Just allows you to launch forward and uh, and go past mobs. There's no damaging effect to it, right? In the Epic Destinies 4, any Draconic that you make, there is an ability here called the Flyby Attack. And this, it allows you to leap forward and go through, and go fast through your enemies, just like a leap of faith. But this has some secondary effects to it. Um, you go through and you do 2d6 fire damage per character level to the enemy struck, and then there's a chance to knock them down on top of that. So it got me kind of thinking about, well, the Vanguard fighter has the same sort of bowling ball move. I think it has two of them. Um, one of them uh, knocks everything down and does damage, and the other one just I think is a knockdown effect. I haven't read up very much on it, so I was like, well, why not? Why not combine this fly by attack also with those shield bash um, sort of things and be like an elemental damage bowling ball, like a character that just goes and knocks everything down and could do it in any elemental form, fire, cold, electrical, or acid as a draconic. And so I started a build based on that. It was a shield bashing Vanguard wizard that's eventually going to be in the draconic, and a it's also a dragonborn. Now, dragonborn can max out charisma and stuff, and a wizard is based on intelligence. So I made like a tank that could do it. Uh, I haven't decided what elemental type of damage I'm gonna do with it, but it's gonna be pretty interesting. I don't think it's gonna be very good at doing raids because, like, for instance, in Too Hot to Handle, you don't want to just go blast off the edge when you're fighting the boss because you'll end up in lava and have to climb back up and other things like that. And then you're out of the healing circles that usually get put up. But uh, for the purpose of just going through mass mobs and knocking them all down, I think it'd be kind of fun. Just a side note. And before I end the video, I'll just go out here and try to get big hits. I am in Thunderhome. I think I already have some Slayers done here. I could try to use the Dragonborn knockdown if I get a whole group of bad mobs here in a line. And then not really buffing too much, just blur, death ward, jump, tumble, and the night shield clicky in case I run into some of those uh, living casters that are out here. Sometimes they cast force missiles. So I'll wake them all up, get shot at a little bit. Now they come over. I wait for the web and use the Evertard's Everard's tentacles on them, and I'll just wait. I didn't even fire anything from my hands. Showing the damage coming up from mostly force damage right there. And it has to be only force damage right there. I'll probably drink greater pots here for fire, force, and light. I only have two left. Brilliance. Showing spell powers up to only fire 474, force 271, light 394. Displace. Electrical shield. Fearsome invulnerability. Didn't do anything. Chaining now. You can see the damage is coming up as red for evil or chaotic. or whatever. I don't even know what the blast is evil next to the fire, or the eldritch blasting is evil damage. Funny that it works on undead. Okay, here's a guy. There's a Cult of the Dragon Necromancer. I'll just web him up first. And use a breath attack without any clickies. Somehow it missed him, but hit the other one for 3,800. Here's another big group. I missed the web. Getting shot up a little bit. I'll just start chaining here. I believe I had the Draconic Fury here and Wellspring of Power clickies here to boost spell power and everything. Another trap. It's hard to see the chain going through there. Just check up here to see if there's anything. There's a rare here. I see a chest. So I'll just gear up to try kill the rare and probably end the video. I'll try to do the biggest hits I can possibly do. When she gets talking here, Blood Penny, or gets done talking. So first thing is, I don't like how this mob disappears so much. I'm using all the clickies on the left, the stricken and everything right now off the bat. And then holding down my basic attack of Eldritch Blast in between. And since she disappeared on me, I really wasn't ready to do a big blast. I'm going to use Fearsome Invulnerability here to not really take too much damage from Ulmer's hits here. I'm going to fire off that burst and light up the energy vortex. So whenever this mob comes in and out of existence, sort of, at least it's gonna be taking damage. I ran the cycle again on the clickies on the right, chaotic, and I did not use breath yet. And there it is, right at the end I hit for 24,000 on the big breath attack, not the Dragonboard one. Not running a combat log to show that, but I think you could see it on the video. I don't even know if, yes, I did. I think I had both Wellspring of Power and Draconic Fury on. They're on cooldown now, so I gotta be careful a little. Can't really get out of jail free like that, but I can energy burst, and that's what I'll do here. 17s and 6s, some made the save. I wanted to go see if I could just blast right through and knock everything down and come back on flyby attack here. So we got this group here, and when they line up, I ram through, and I'm on the other side. Now I'll breath attack them. It's pretty brutal. I got 3. The 4th one wasn't in there. That's a good time. Anyway, I will end the video now. I hope everybody has a good time. Thank you.